It's January 31st, so the last day of the month. But it's a beautiful day out. It's like 50 degrees and sunny. I can't believe it. This whole week's been pretty damn nice. So we've been working on stuff in the shop. We got our plow done, everything rebuilt on it. We got our inline ripper done. So now we're starting on this strip till here. And we're doing something a little different. Normally we run saddle tanks on our tractors. I'll put in some pictures of what they look like, but they just sit on the sides of the tractor, and it carries your fertilizer, and we use liquid fertilizer, strip tilling, planting, side dressing, all that stuff. Well, our new tractor, the 8R 340, it's got a little bit different framework, so none of our tanks will fit on it. Well, the price of saddle tanks are just ridiculous right now. So we've been doing some looking around, and we're getting into a project here. Let's go run down to the project, or the start of the project, and you can see kind of what I'm thinking. Well, here you go. We found us a pull-behind tank. Now, what's kind of interesting us on this is this will hold 1,600 gallons. We've got some Lake State tanks that go onto our 370 right now, and they are a total of 1,000 gallons, which is really good for strip tilling because we go through a lot of fertilizer per acre, if that makes sense. So you use a lot of fertilizer, always stopping to fill. Well, we found this tank and we're like, it's a little risky because you got to make sure it follows the tractor just right. But this is set out to 120, which is where our duals are on the tractor. And this also does four-wheel steer. So the back end will steer and the front end will steer, kind of like a monster truck. So it should, in theory, follow in the tractor tracks. We'll have to see. But this is going to be a little bit of a project. We bought this from a local rancher. He's a little rough on things. You can tell the hitch is a little bit bent. We're going to have to do all new replumbing. This is too small for us. We got to put a new strap on because at one point, for some reason, this corner welds or something had broken, and so this tire ran into the tank at one point. But it didn't really do any damage to the tank, just broke the strap. We're gonna have to clean this out. It's got some junk in the bottom of it, but it's a project. So in order to do this, we have to put a hitch on the back of our strip till. So that leads us to our next project. This is going to be a project of its own, getting it plumbed, getting it ready for fertilizer and hooked up to the tractor. So let's go back to the shop and we'll see what that next project's going to entail. Okay, so that puts us back to the shop. So we run these 12-row Orthman strip tills, and obviously there is not a hitch on the back of it. Well, we used to run sunflower strip tills, and our sunflower strip tills had these hitches on there, so we still had one of these. And then my grandpa has one of these, and he actually took his off. So we took his hitch, and we're gonna see if it works on this. And if it works out pretty good on the strip till, then we'll take the hitch off of our old sunflower strip till, and we'll put that hitch on our side dresser. But that's gonna be down the road if this works. So it's pretty simple setup, honestly. Should bolt right up. It should just sit right in here. And then we'll throw some bolts or U-bolts right here. It clamps to 7x7 bar. Should be honestly really easy and a simple project. So that should be pretty simple. I'm not really sure what else we need to do to this strip till yet. We might have to change points to get it ready. But besides that, I think this one should be pretty ready to go. Grease it and all that fun stuff. But I'm gonna paint this hitch first because I don't really want a bright red hitch back of an Orthman green on the back of a red or a green tractor. So I'm going to paint that real quick before we get into a big rush to mount it, because I know how it's going to go. We're going to get it mounted and then we'll be like, don't worry about it. So I'm going to get it painted up real quick because it's going to look a lot better. So I'm going to do that. Alright, well, I did not film any of the process last night getting that hitch on, because we were just trying to get it on, put up, because Dad had to leave this morning. So I knew I was only going to have help for last night. So we got that all done. Let's go check it out. I think it looks pretty awesome. We got the new tractor on it. We got our strip till hooked up. We'll still have to go through it and grease it and stuff, but we did get this hitch on. Painted it black. Looks pretty dang good. As you guys seen yesterday, I had to do some welding. We had to, if I was out of the sun maybe, we had to build our like custom brackets here. The problem is, I don't know if you guys can see that in the shade, but there's some hydraulic hoses to fold the wings. Well, those go right through the pipe, right where these brackets need to go. So we kind of had to make a custom bracket to go around the hoses. But there is 8 bolts in this hitch, which is exactly how this was built factory. So I think we did a pretty good job there. It looks awesome being black. I think that looks pretty dang good. This hitch moves up and down, so as you lift it, just moves the hitch. And we did get it on the tank yesterday, and it followed pretty dang good. We still have to straighten this hitch out. You can see it's curved. That will change it a lot, because it was tracking a little bit to the left of the tractor. But once we fix that hitch, it should be pretty dang good. I hope you guys can hear me with the wind. I changed my microphone a little bit from my last video. If you could tell, it was in the view of the camera, which was super annoying. And you couldn't hear me from one direction as good as the other. So I changed it. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right. But we're going to clean the shop up. It needs swept out badly. And then I'm going to get the 370 in here to get it maintenance. It needs oil change, fuel filters, all that good stuff. So I also had to get a new welding jacket, because mine yesterday, I got a giant sunburn on my arm, which I knew it was going to be bad, but I did it anyways, because I don't know if you can tell, but there's a big old burn hole in this sleeve. So yeah, I've got a pretty good sized sunburn on my arm. Feels great. So, safety. So we ended up just pulling out the whole hitch, because obviously our chain situation was not working out. So we figured out, we set a straight edge on it. Bend starts about right there to there. There's a separate hole here, so we're just going to end up cutting it here behind the hole, cutting it here, and we'll re-weld it together. We'll just use this hole in the framework. It'll be a little bit shorter. Well, actually it'll be a little bit longer sticking out the front, but we already tested the turning radius and everything. We'll be perfect with that length of hitch, and we'll get rid of that bend in it. It's a lot worse once you pull it out. Looks way worse. Okay, so we got the bent section cut out of it and beveled, so I'm gonna get this thing welding. We got it straightened out right now. I gotta get it tacked, and we'll see how that turns out. We're gonna put some fish plates on the edges once we get it all welded up. Okay, it's the next day. It's the next day. My camera ended up dying on me yesterday as I was filming stuff, and I could not get it to charge here at the shop, so I had to wait till the next day. But I did get this hitch done. Looks pretty good, if I say so myself. I put a fish plate on the sides, just weld all the way around. Looks pretty good. It's a hell of a lot straighter than it was. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but should pull a lot better. So now we got to work on getting this thing cleaned out. I started on it yesterday, but you can see it's pretty nasty still. I hate to say it, but I think that might be a project I'll have to get in and actually wash it out. It's not looking so good. But it was kind of weird. There was a bunch of junk in the bottom of this thing. There was a whole bunch of these seals and 2 literal bricks, and then there's a banjo clamp inside, or a cap inside of there too. I might look a bit ridiculous here, but if I'm gonna climb inside that thing, I'm wearing full coveralls and some irrigating boots, because I don't know what this stuff is, but it's nasty looking. Like, super nasty looking. So I got some valves put on both ends of it. There's a bottom and a back side. I'll show you. I'm gonna get this without dying. Gonna get this hose moving. My plan is I'm gonna fill it like at least halfway, well, quarter to a half, and then drive it around, get it sloshing. Hopefully gets most of that stuff cleaned out. But I got, and these are just temporary, got a valve on the back for that hole, and I put a valve there for that hole. So we're gonna just get this thing filled up with some water so we can start sloshing it around, and hopefully it'll help dissolve some of those chunks. I got this front half cleaned pretty good, but that back is still full of junk. So hopefully, we probably don't need to go halfway. We'll just go like a quarter. Well, we got it filled up to about 300 gallons, so that'll probably be enough. It's covering the whole bottom pretty good. Let's see how this little Ranger, well, it's a Kawasaki, my bad, not a Polaris Ranger. I just call them all Rangers, okay? Let's see how this little Ranger does yanking this thing around with some liquid sloshing. Guessing it's not gonna be great. But you never know till you try. I think we're gonna put it in 4-wheel drive and low gear maybe. 4-wheel drive, low gear. It's a bit of a pull. Testing out the new testing out the new hitch too, I suppose. Dogs go wild. Any guesses on how good or bad it cleaned? Get up there without slipping. Oh, it's actually did pretty dang good. I am really surprised. There's another rubber O-ring in there that I didn't find earlier. Wow. That worked a hell of a lot better than I thought it was going to. But I think I'm still gonna have to get inside and get all those chunks out, so. Well, maybe not. Maybe I can clean it from here now. Let's see. Okay, I'm actually really surprised how easy it was to get this thing cleaned out. It's still stained, but she's clean. Now the next problem is these straps. I did not realize it, but these things are like just coming apart. So that ain't gonna work. Really hate to see this thing fall off its own trailer. So we're gonna have to get some new straps. I mean, look at that. Just barely pull on them and they're coming apart. Oh, that one's tough. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I don't think those were gonna hold. Kind of, I think they were decomposing. Been sitting out in the sun too long. Well, this is a disappointment. I was just checking all the tires for air pressure. And if you can see, the outside of the valve stem actually broke off. So I screwed this little thing back in there. And yeah, it needs a new valve stem. So now I get to jack it up, take this tire off, take it into town so they can put a new valve stem in it. All the other tires are aired up right though. I guess that'll give me a chance to check the hub and see how that one's doing. Check grease, check hub, extra steps. So much fun. This is the risk you take with used equipment. Well, we've gotten quite a bit done. We used some old mounts that I made for our Caterpillar. So this is going to be our fill here. Got our filter to pre-filter going into the tank. A little bit of a hose, kinkage, I don't know, we'll see if this lasts or not, but got a valve in case something does happen to the hose. Got 4 new straps. We welded on some tabs for, this is our flow meter, this is like the valve shut off, this is the valve turning up and down. Bolted on this bracket for the pump, and this hose needs to be shortened a little bit, but it reached, so we're just going to use it for now to make sure it works. Got a new hose and all new bung and valve and everything underneath. So I think it turned out pretty good. Now we've just got to get our hoses long enough to reach the tractor. This is probably going to be our most difficult part, is the electrical side of it. There's 8 wires in here that I'm going to have to cut and splice longer to reach the tractor. Gotta get hydraulic lines long enough to reach the tractor. But I think it's turning out pretty good. I'm we're pretty excited to see what it does. But yeah, we got her plumbed up and everything. We went through wheel bearings and everything also, and I think it's pretty much ready to go. We just gotta get all the electrical and stuff hooked up, all the lines. And we gotta put this rate controller on the new tractor. We gotta get this done too. Okay, I think this is my last update before we get it hooked up to the tractor, and we still gotta get the rate controller onto the tractor, but I think we did finish this up. We got a big gauge, bracket and everything set up. I did extend the wire 20 feet. We got 20 foot of hose. Now all that we need is some more hydraulic hose to run the pump, but I think we should be, I think the tank and everything is set up, ready to go. We just have to hook it up to the tractor and see what the hell happens. So I think the next time you guys see this, it'll be hooked up to the tractor. Finally got it all set up here. We're gonna just about to try her, see if it works. We're not sure if this pump is 100% or not, but we got all of our hoses ran. We put some braces on here to hold everything up good. So we're gonna see if this all works. Look at that. $25?
Yeah, it's working, boy.
Oh, I know. You can't see that from there?
I can. It's about here. I just didn't know. I can't see the number.
Oh.
It's 30 straight up?
Yeah. Well, let's go. Well, I guess you have to sit still, don't you?
I don't have to right now. I'll go do it. We need the stands up.
Oh, yeah.
I want to go try it out here.
You're going to stick it in?
Fuck yeah, I am.
Okay. Well, we got water coming out. That's a start.
You got a valve to shut that off.
Yeah, so on the tank there's an electric valve that turns it on and off. And then there's another valve that'll actually open it and close it depending on how fast you're going. To make, like, we set it up in the computer to make a certain rate. So let's say you want to do 25 gallons an acre. That little valve on there will open it and close it to however fast you're going and make it 25 to make your rate happen. Look at that. It's not even frozen chunks, Earl. And our tank's even following the tractor without running over the roads. Shit, look at that. He's gonna plug it up the track, watch it. He's gonna mess around and plug it. Let's see if he can turn around and not run over too much. God damn, he turns it tight. But it's still missing. By quite a bit. see it's plugged up a little bit already. That worked pretty damn good though, didn't it? Shit, I think we'll be alright. Shit. Look at that. What was it, February 12th? We're in the dirt. Isn't that stupid?
Mark comes around here. Take that damn dog for a ride.
Maybe he was chasing that goose.
You know, there's a couple big geese over there. She come pick them up,
Oh shit.
put them in the bag.
Oh yeah.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, put your hand to the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?